Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. In the last episode, Artin and Alistair shared a very intimate moment, and we'll be checking in with our other companions, seeing what, if anything, they have to say on that. But first, we have some stuff to sell.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
Let me see your wares, Bodan.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Thank you. Now then, let's see. Okay, we can sell this and the crossbow. No one's going to be using it. It's just kind of clogging up inventory space. The longsword can go. Oathkeeper can go. Yasaris can go. And I'm pretty sure that the Crow Dagger can also go. Helm can go. Eamon's Shield can go. There we go. Silver Ring, Iron Ring. Everyone else has better stuff, so... Ooh, actually... No, these are restricted, so these can both go. And we don't have any other mages, so... Anything here? No. And again, these are all alcohol, and none of our party members have really expressed an over-interest in alcohol, so these can... You know, we can't hand those out yet. I'll buy them. Thanking you. Now, what do you... Ooh! Thank you. Okay, so let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 stacks of elf fruit, 2 stacks of lyrium. So we need at least 6 stacks of flasks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and let's see, how many stacks of concentrator agents? 6. So I think I'm going to want 2 stacks of concentrator for the elf fruit, 1 for the lyrium, so that's 3. Whoa, Nelly! Did not realize it was that expensive. Okay, Oh, that's like... Oh god, I can't justify that. I can't justify that. I guess we'll just have to have, like, a boatload of lesser health and, lesser lyrium. Okay, then now, what do I want? Spells and talents. I'm looking for... I can't do it from here. Damn it. Oh, well. A sandal. That was it.
Enchantment?
I'd like some enchanting done.
Enchantment!
There we go. Now then. Starfang. We bought a Grandmaster Silverite rune. I am equipping that to Starfang. First thing. Because like I said, I'm only a level and a half away from Starfang. Ooh, Let's see. I think I'll grab the 20 physical resistance and... Let's see. These are all... The journeyman might be... decent? Maybe? I'll go for the journeyman spell resistance. And Yeah, I think actually that's... I could add stuff to the Rose's Thorn. Just while I'm here. And... Fire, electricity... Oh, wait. I'll take that, thank you. So we've either got fire or lightning. Lightning could be cool. There we go. Lovely. Okay. Now then, Shale, you got anything to say?
It speaks.
I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
You don't seem to like humans much.
That is true. I do not. I'm not interested in getting into a discussion on the subject, however. Ask another time. If it is done asking overly obvious questions, let us find some humans to throw off a cliff or something.
Okay, so Shale doesn't want to talk. Fair. Thorin? Thorin wags his tail and looks at Sten.
Yes, it is good to have my sword at my side again. I call her Asala, the soul, my soul. She is forged from rare blue steel and has served me faithfully for many years.
He sits down and watches Sten attentively.
You understand what it is like to have a weapon that is part of you. Few others do.
Why did that part go so fast? That was a bit strange. But okay.
What say you?
Care to answer some questions? I want to discuss something personal. Do you stare at everyone like that? Again, Artin is just going to ignore him staring at her. It's... Oh, God. Care to answer some questions?
By all means.
Let's just move on. And... I can't remember if there was anything under personal.
What say you?
I want to discuss something personal.
Again? I'm game.
And never mind. Okay, we're quickly running out of options to talk to people about. Oh.
What's on your mind?
Have you changed your mind about Alistair and me? Do you have any regrets at all? As a Grey Warden, I'll never lead a normal life, will I? And then we've already asked Wynne everything about the circle. Ooh. So number 2 opens up Wynne's companion quest, which I'm like, that could be interesting. At the same time, it's more putting off of the deep roads. Because we are literally at the Dalish camp right now, so it would make sense to get it done whilst we're by the Dalish. Oh. Go on then. Do you have any regrets at all?
I try not to dwell too much on the mistakes of my past, of which there are many. I would go quite mad if I did that. But I do have one regret. The greatest misstep of my life, made even more grave because it had dire consequences for someone else.
What did you do? Tell me, it might make you feel better, and all along I thought you were perfect. What did you do?
Years ago, I was assigned as mentor to a lad, Annoyance. He was my first apprentice. Annoyance was an elf, raised in one of the elven alienages, and he was very mistrustful of humans, especially humans in authority.
I can see how this could be trouble. Humans like you, but the mages treat the elves and humans alike. Yeah, not where Annoyance came from. Humans like you?
I was his mentor, an authority figure. He can't have liked me very much. What Annoyance needed was time. Time to get used to his new home. Time to emerge from his shell, so we could build a rapport. I gave him no such time. I was young and arrogant. He is a mage, I thought. He needs to grow up and act like one. I expected too much from him too quickly. I gave no consideration to his origin or his feelings, and he retreated further from me. All I could think of was how stubborn he was, how he was throwing away all his talent and his potential just to be difficult.
And what did he think of you? That just seems so unlike you. Does it? Does it sound unlike Wynne to be judgmental? Was he talented? Yeah, I think that's a fair question. Was he talented?
Oh, very much so. Sometimes I would catch him practicing on his own, but if I asked him to show me what he could do, he would freeze up or fumble terribly. You cannot plant crops in the cold, wintry ground. You cannot teach a student who is closed off and unresponsive. Patience is what is needed, and I learned that too late to help him.
What happened to Annoyance? Better late than never? What happened to Annoyance?
Annoyance ran away from the circle one night. I had berated him over some trivial, ridiculous matter that I no longer remember. I drove him away because of something utterly unimportant. He was a child, 14 at the time of his leaving. They had his phylactery, and they hunted him down.
He's dead then. Phylactery? Who hunted him down? Why didn't they just bring him back to the tower? I think Artin knows... I'm pretty sure that Artin knows what a phylactery is, because I'm pretty sure that we got that codex entry in the tower. It's pretty obvious who hunted him down, the Templars. I think Artin would be very curious about number 4, though. Why didn't they just bring him back to the tower?
They called him Maleficar, a mage who practices forbidden magic, deserving of death. He was a child, misunderstood and lost. I begged the Templars to tell me if he suffered, if they gave him a quick death. I got no answers from them. I was his mentor, and they wouldn't even tell me what became of him.
It's not your fault, Wynne. That was cruel of them. Well, I guess you learned your lesson. Ooh. Well, I guess you learned your lesson is a bit harsh. That was cruel of them. If that's just standard procedure that you don't tell anyone what became of them, then that wasn't cruel. That was Wynne trying to, oh, well, I should get special treatment. I don't know if that was the case, but I think that's what Artin is thinking. Either they were cruel or they were just going off of procedure and Wynne was trying to get her own way. I think Artin would say that it wasn't Wynne's fault. Wynne didn't mean to, send this cause this boy to run away. I think she, as she said, she hadn't yet learned about patience and that she needed to give him time and she hadn't realized that. It's not your fault, Wynne.
I should have known better. I had the best mentors. They were kind, compassionate. Why didn't I learn from them? I failed Annoyance. All I had to do was listen to him. He would try to talk to me, and I would tell him to concentrate on his spells. He talked about the alienage sometimes, and the Dalish. He always talked about looking for the Dalish elves.
I think it's time to forgive yourself. Maybe he did find the Dalish. This was years ago. Move on. I mean, from the Circle Tower, it's practically like a straight path to the Brazilian forest. And if, the elves regularly roam this area, maybe he did manage to get to the Dalish. Wynne never said that the Templars killed him. She said that they wouldn't say what happened to him. But she's assuming that means that they killed him. If they never said what happened, then they never said that they killed him. Maybe he did find the Dalish.
The Templars are well trained and thorough. That he still lives, it would be a vain hope. The apprentices that came after Annoyance benefited greatly from the lessons I learned from him. In a sense, he was my teacher, and I his student.
See, there is a bright side. Then maybe his sacrifice was worthwhile. This is getting maudlin. then maybe his sacrifice was worthwhile.
And there it is. My story, my one greatest regret.
We're camped right next to the Dalish. We should... Oh, I don't want to put the deep roads off for another week. That's my one thing.
What's on your mind?
Have you changed your mind about Alistair and me? As a Grey Warden, I'll never lead a normal life, will I? As a Grey Warden, I'll never lead a normal life, will I?
No, you won't.
And that makes me sad. Wow, you're blunt. I could try, but it wouldn't work. But I don't think I was ever meant to be normal. I already knew the answer. I don't know why I asked. Ooh. I'm very tempted by number 4. Because I don't think it makes Artin sad. Wynne is very blunt. Again, I don't think that Artin would try to, you know, like... Artin is a Grey Warden now. To reject that truth would... I mean, because in the end, she's going to go through the calling. So it'd just be... It would be very silly to be like, nope, I'm just going to ignore this. Oh, wait, the Archdemon is in my head. Oh, crap. So trying to lead a normal life, to give up the Grey Ones, I think Artin would be like, that's a silly thing to do. When Artin says that she doesn't think that she was ever meant to be normal, she was a princess. Normal people aren't princesses. And I think this is where you're kind of like, Artin, you're being a bit bold there. Her father raised her to be great. Her veins run with the blood of Paragon Iduken, and I do believe she's proud of that. Yeah, I don't think Artin means this in a kind of like, oh, I'm so special. I think it could be taken as that, but I don't think Artin means it as such. I think she's just very, very proud of, you know, where she comes from and that kind of thing. But I don't think I was ever meant to be normal.
I don't think so either. You would not have been happy living a dull, uneventful life, dying in obscurity. You wonder sometimes, don't you? If your life would be better if you weren't who you are.
A little. It's on my mind constantly. No, I like my life. Oh. Not number 2. Absolutely not number 2. Here's my issue, why I'm stuck between 1 and 3. Because the first part of number 3, no, I agree with. It's the second part, I like my life, that I'm like, oh, I might have some issues with that. Okay, so I'm gonna go with number 1. Here's what I'm thinking. It's not that Artin's wishing she weren't who she was. She's wishing that her family weren't who they were. If they were just an ordinary, let's say Smith caste, they weren't paragons. Like her father is still Endrin, her brothers Trian and Balon. If they had just been normal, everyday citizens of Orzammar, Balon would never have done what he did. And my headcanon is that Artin and Balon were very close. They did genuinely love each other. It was just the fact of like, you're a threat to me, so I'm gonna take you out. I'm not taking you out because I don't love you. I'm taking you out because I want the throne and I cannot allow you to potentially take the throne once Endrin dies. That's why I'm doing all of this. That's why Balin didn't just have Artin killed. Because he could face having Trian killed. He hated Trian, but he couldn't face having his beloved big sister killed. He couldn't stomach that. He would rather her die in the deep roads where he didn't have to think about it. That is my headcanon for what was going on there. So, yeah, I think Artin does occasionally think maybe this wouldn't have happened if we had just been ordinary people. A little.
When I was a young woman in the tower, I came to the realization that the circle would be my life, and I would know no other. Family, love, a simple life. These were things that others took for granted, that I would never have.
And this upset you. Grass is always greener on the other side. I don't think you're missing out. And this upset you.
It made me very moody. All I could think of was being trapped in that tower with no way out and no end in sight. I started hating my life and myself, and one night I found myself in the tower's chapel. I was seeking refuge, maybe answers.
Did you find anything? The Chantry doesn't offer much of either. You must have come to terms with your life eventually. It's hard to imagine you as a moody youth. Yeah, I think it is. Again, Wynne is very stoic and judgmental, but, you know, kind, compassionate. I don't think Artin purely sees Wynne as this vessel of judgment. She's, you know, a fully faceted person. But I don't think Artin could imagine Wynne being a kind of emo teenager. It's hard to imagine you as a moody youth.
Well, I was. Dreadfully morose. Surly. Anyway, where was I? Ah, yes, the chapel. I must have looked tearful or made some noise, because the revered mother came out and decided to speak to me. And because I had no one else to talk to, I talked to her. I must have said many silly things. But she told me that the Maker puts us all on our paths for a reason. And fighting our intended course is what causes so much anguish.
And that made you feel better? I think she was right. Only the weak accept their fates. Can't get enough of that religious claptrap. Ooh. It's between 1 or 2. I'm trying to think if Artin... I've mentioned this before, the dwarves of Orzammar and the Qunari are very similar in that everything is dictated by your caste. For the Qunari, everything is dictated by your Tamazran. And, you know, like, your career path is chosen for you. If you're born into a smithing family, you're a smith, no matter what. At the same time, Artin wanted, you know, more flexibility with the casts. Oh. I don't think Artin would go so far as to be like, only the weak accept their fates. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with number 1. And that made you feel better?
I thought the old biddy was full of rubbish. I was 15, maybe 16, and I knew everything. So I left, but I always found my way back to that chapel. And as the years passed, I began to see the truth of her words. We were supposed to be polar opposites, mage and priest. But we weren't. There was much about us that was the same.
All this sappy nonsense is going to make me throw up. I suppose priests have to give up a lot too, but priests have to choose to be priests. Mages don't. Ooh. 3 is true. A mage doesn't choose to be a mage, they are a mage. Admittedly, some people are, you know, given to the priesthood when they're little kids. They don't have a choice. But then again, I suppose they can always leave when they turn 18 and just be like, I'm out. I'm becoming a mercenary. here's the thing. If I was playing a character that was heavily mage rights, I'd go for number 3, but Artin isn't. As I mentioned before, Artin really doesn't care about the plight of the mages. It's a human problem. Why should she concern herself with this? I suppose priests have to give up a lot too.
The revered mother had lived in the chantry all her life, as I had been in the tower for all of mine. She taught me that you can find your family in the people around you, that you can love your work and find fulfillment in duty. And there is joy even in self-sacrifice. If you put others before yourself, then their well-being is yours, and their happiness is your happiness.
That doesn't sound healthy. Would you hate me if I said you were full of rubbish? It won't be easy to live that way. Not number 2. Not number 2. I'm getting very stumped with this conversation tree. Artin kind of put it upon herself to, like, more rights for the casteless. More flexibility with the caste system. No one made her do that. That was something she did because she felt that Orzammar needed it. She felt a great deal of empathy for the casteless because after her mother died, she and Balin were both raised by, the concubines of House Iduken for a time, who are all casteless women. So that's where I'm trying to tie all this into, the idea of, like, their well-being is yours. The idea that she, for no reason other than the fact of, like, I was raised by casteless women for a portion of my life, I liked them, and I know that the casteless suffer, so I'm gonna take this responsibility to kind of champion their rights. Like I said, I don't think it was purely, oh God, what's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Selfless. It wasn't purely selfless. Like I said, her other thing is that if the casteless are doing something, they'll be able to help out Orzammar because Orzammar is dying. Oh. Artin lives for Orzammar. Everything Artin does is for Orzammar. I forgot about that, so yeah, I think she can agree with this. It won't be easy to live that way.
You can scream and cry and be angry about life as a Grey Warden, or you can accept it and allow yourself to see the good in it. This is your choice.
Ooh! Excellent, Wynne. Now then, Liliana.
I know that look. You have something on your mind, don't you?
We need to talk.
Of course.
Tell me a tale, Liliana.
All right. It is my job to spin yarns after all.
Okay. So we've heard about the Darkspawn. We've spoken to her about Aveline. Do you know any Ferelden legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
I killed that bitch. I'm sorry. Oh, I've been waiting to say that. I'm sorry. Yes, I have heard of Flemeth. Flemeth? Morrigan's mother was called Flemeth. I met a Flemeth in the Kakari Wilds. No, I don't believe I've heard of them. Where is the option to say I killed Flemeth? I'm a legend slayer. Okay, serious. We are serious here. Okay. I met a Flemeth in the Kakari Wilds.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
What does it matter? She didn't really introduce herself as such. She looked like your average old woman. They probably just had the same name. The one I murdered turned into a dragon. It was scary. Again, why is that not an option? She didn't really introduce herself as such.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Tell me the whole story. Flemeth was once beautiful. I don't have the time to discuss Flemeth right now. Tell me the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
What happened then? Ooh, the plot thickens. I don't think we have time for the rest of this story. What happened then?
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
Let's just move on. So I do find it very interesting because Morrigan told us Flemeth's version of those events, and that is basically Osen, the poet, was actually her husband, and basically Lord Conobar saw Flemeth, was kind of like, I have the hots for you, and Flemeth effectively said, well, you're a lord, you could rent me for like a time, and you just give my husband the money. Everyone was like, yeah, we can agree to this. But Conobar didn't actually have the money, and so he took Flemeth with him, and he had Osen murdered. And Flemeth learned of this, and basically kind of said, you have no honor. Like hell I'm going to sleep with you. Like hell I'm going to stay here for however many years our agreement was. I'm leaving. And she summoned a demon that turned her into an abomination, and then she killed Conobar and legged it into the Kokari wilds. It's very interesting listening to, the two versions of events. Now, I am out of time for this episode. In the next, continuing on with party camp talks and probably heading back to the Dalish to see if we can find an Artin. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.